Live on Fox Wilmington, this is WECT News at 7 a.m.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us for WECT News at 7 on Fox Wilmington. I'm Kim Ratcliffe.
I'm Bob Bonner. I snuck a look at the traffic camera. When was the last time you saw the traffic camera? Like at the very end of the ECT show?
Yes, and that was Carolina Beach Road and Shipyard Boulevard.
So there was a different look. I don't even know where it was because the way the sun is now, it's like golden hour. It looked like it was fall.
Huh.
All the leaves on the trees look golden. The lights are, the roads are lit up. Because I said in the newsroom,
Sounds like
Gabby,
a pretty view.
I wish it was fall outside.
Then it wouldn't be so muggy. I know.
But it is summer. Again, we'll talk about the forecast and other things a bit later in the show.
New tropical storm.
Yeah.
We'll check in with Gannon. Right now, there's several updates for you this morning following last night's City Council meeting in Wilmington, including an update on the former Wave Bus Depot at Castle and 11th Streets. It could take a few more months before we know the future of the facility, with council voting to give developers more time to refine their plan. A breakdown of last night's meeting for you in just a few minutes.
Early one-stop voting begins today for our state's 9th congressional district race. Now, the one-stop voting site in Bladen County will be at the Bladen County Board of Elections office. Voters can request an absentee ballot through September 3rd, and that special election would then take place on the 10th of September.
The makers of a popular e-cigarette facing yet another lawsuit. Juul Labs and Philip Morris, the cigarette company, are accused of illegally marketing to minors and deceiving consumers about the risks of vaping. The lawsuit was filed on behalf of a 19-year-old who says he became addicted to nicotine.
All right, just a whisker past 7 o'clock. Let's get you up to speed on your first alert traffic that I mentioned. This is going to be a live look at the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. Not the autumn look that I was looking at earlier, but it's a good look if you're a traveler because traffic's moving through the area. No scheduled bridge openings this morning as far as we're told so far this morning. Again, Gannon, in the newsroom, we've got an insulated roof, but every time you hear rain and is that the air conditioning or the rain? We had rain come through.
We had a little shower, and we'll revisit the radar momentarily about that. But speaking of that summer-fall transition, sometimes it's not a perfect handoff. We get storms, and this one formed real quick last night. There was a cluster of thunderstorms, but this time yesterday, the National Hurricane Center was looking at that as a highly disorganized animal. Overnight last night, got it together, and now Chantal is exploiting. And excuse the latest satellite frames on that. They kind of going dark on us at the end, but it's exploiting every little bit of energy it can from the northernmost reaches of the Gulf Stream. Look at our reference points, Maine and Newfoundland. It is well offshore, both of those. So it's really not a land threat, but to the extent we like to tell you what's new overnight on the morning news, Chantal is new overnight. Back here to our shores, your Bob King Auto Mall Southport cam. Sun, clouds, downpour, wet pavement. So yeah, here's that business of isolated showers and downpours in our latest radar scan, and we'll loop that for you. The heaviest activity was around Midway Road, either side, just about an hour and a half ago. Showers and storms in an isolated sense, a part of your Wednesday forecast. Otherwise, what else? Hot sun and southwest breezes getting that temperature curve cooking. Back to you.
All right, Gannon, well, this morning, money has been approved for improvements to a very big project in downtown Wilmington. It's part of the River Place project to replace the Water Street parking deck with parking, retail shops, restaurants, and close to 200 apartments. So you're looking at the construction of that project from our camera on the Murchison building downtown. At last night's City Council meeting, leaders passed a resolution and ordinance to improve Bijou Park, an elevated walkway to connect the parking decks and the grand staircase, which will connect to Water Street. Those improvements are for the public areas of the project and are expected to run about $1.5 million. The entire project is on track to be completed by May of next year. Now, it will be at least December before we know the fate of the old Wave Bus Depot on Castle and 11th Streets here in Wilmington. Council voted to give the developer about 4 months to decide how to pay for the development and what companies will be a part of said project. HIP Architecture, Habitat for Humanity, and the Cape Fear Community Land Trust presenting an updated proposal on building 35 affordable housing units there.
Yes, we've been talking about affordable housing for a long time, and here we have a chance to make an impact, and to do it right in the downtown.
Now, some of the units would be live-work units as well as mixed use with commercial retail space on the bottom. The housing would be on the top. Developers plan to hold a community meeting between now and mid-October, and they must have an updated plan ready by December. Now, hoping to build better relationships between residents and businesses downtown, City Council approved changes to the noise ordinance, which included adding an appeals process. City staff say this makes it more clear for both police and the public. As for the noise itself, it's a hit to business around downtown Wilmington because now they have to lower their noise after midnight. Downtown business owners we spoke to weren't happy with the change, which goes into effect October 1st. Expectant parents who work for the city of Wilmington will soon get paid parental leave. Council approved the resolution for all employees, moms and dads. Workers will be able to take up to 6 weeks of paid time off in the 12 months following the birth, adoption, or foster care placement of a child. New Hanover County adopted a similar policy that did that just last month.
The proposal to end legal disagreements over assets of H2Go and Brunswick Regional Water and Sewer will move forward. The H2Go board authorized its attorney to finalize an agreement on the proposed solution. H2Go, along with the towns of Leland and Belleville, announced the details of a potential agreement in a joint news release. For the last 2 years, H2Go has been in a legal battle with Belleville to regain control of its assets. No word yet on a timeline for the finalized agreements. And we're waiting to find out what kind of an impact nearly 2,000 gallons of wastewater spill has had on the environment. A pump station at H2Go on Lanville Road discharged untreated wastewater into a tributary branch that feeds Sturgeon Creek in Leland. The DEQ was made aware of the spill last Friday. A controversial immigration enforcement bill will be on Governor Roy Cooper's desk this morning. It requires sheriffs in North Carolina to cooperate with requests from immigration and customs enforcement agents. Now, some sheriffs have ignored those requests, called detainers, claiming they are not valid warrants. The sheriffs fear holding suspects beyond the legal limit could open the department to legal action. Supporters of the bill say not holding the suspects could allow dangerous criminals to be back on the streets. If Governor Cooper decides to veto the bill, Republicans may not have the votes to override his decision. Another bill headed to the governor's desk will leave you paying more for your hunting or fishing license. The bill would raise the annual fee for hunting and inland fishing from $20 to $25 if you live in state. Fees for out-of-state licenses will go up as well. It also creates 10 new licenses for specialized activities, including one for hunting with a falcon.
All right, well, the governor talked about teacher pay raises during a visit to one local school district. The conversation turned to the budget stalemate that's taking place in the state capitol. The governor said he offered a compromise budget plan to Republicans over a month ago, but they haven't responded with a counteroffer. GOP leaders say the governor is holding up negotiations by insisting Medicaid expansion be part of any deal. Now, Governor Cooper said he wants a compromise budget that reflects what his constituents have asked for.
I'm frustrated because the legislature continues to try to override the veto and get the budget the way they want to, instead of responding to what the people asked for in 2018, more balance in state government and therefore consensus.
Now, when asked if there's a possibility of going the entire fiscal year without passing a new budget, the governor said he hopes that wouldn't happen. The debate over Confederate statues in North Carolina is back. Commissioners in Chatham County voted to move a statue from the courthouse grounds in Pittsboro and give it back to the United Daughters of the Confederacy. The two groups agreed earlier this summer to come up with a plan about what to do with the statue. Now, commissioners are saying the Daughters of the Confederacy walked away from the discussion. That statue must now be moved by the end of October.